What's happening, boys and girls, and welcome back to the channel. Today we are going to be flying a drone or the in-game camera around RuneScape just like this. It means anything that has been like rendered by the game we can fly around and have a look at. We can zoom in on things and we can get really close up and see some of the details that we miss every day. We'll also go around and see if we can find some like hidden things and stuff like that. Around 9-10 months ago, Soup made a video using the orb of Oculus, showing some really cool stuff out and like some hidden locations and stuff like that. So I'm also going to be taking a look at some of those places that he looked at to see if they've changed anything. I know one thing they definitely have changed, seeing as all the updates have come out for like the Kourend lowlands and stuff like that. That will definitely be different, so we'll go and have a look at that. But yeah, Soup did a video. If you haven't seen it, guys, there's actually two videos. I'll link them both down in the description and they are both excellent. But without further ado, let's get into the video. So we're going to kick this off by using a bit of footage from Soup's video, and as you can see, he's over by Raids 1 and he goes with the camera like north or west and keeps on going till he finds these sort of brown dots and like a pillar, sort of like a Stonehenge pillar thing, and that is where the Kourend lowlands is now. So if we go ahead and have a look at what it looks like now, we just see this was a placeholder for what they were going to build later on. So we're doing exactly what Soup did and going northwest from Raids 1, and as you can see, those grey, horrible, old looking pillars are now looking like this. Really cool and really nice and detailed, and it was obviously just a placeholder for what they wanted to make there. They obviously just had the pillars down to show like exactly what they wanted, but that wasn't actually the final design. Really cool to see how Jagex make their decisions. Seeing as we're in the Kourend lowlands, we'll take a little look at some of the detail around there. So we've actually got this lizard man shaman or something like that in the middle of these pillars, like praying to a fire. And you see he has like purple eyes and is holding like a cane with a hand and a skull in it. And it's just something you wouldn't really clock unless you had like the ability to go this close into the like NPC. Really interesting to see the amount of detail they put into that. Next we have like the temple or shrine with the altar that's in the Kourend lowland swamps, and there is just like so much detail in here that is missed, and it is just so beautifully made. As you can see, we're still in the temple at the moment, flying around the swamp, and over here you can see like some of the guards that have died in like a battle, and they're like dead with their black scimitars and blood everywhere and arrows on the floor, and that's just really cool. More of those pillars that we saw earlier as well. Just here on the edge. And then if we zoom into one of these like lizard man brutes, it looks like they're holding some sort of obsidian like shield along with black dragon scimitars. I think that's what they are. I think they've just been recolored, but they look really cool. And again, something you wouldn't see unless you really looked into it, and I am currently in trouble here. And then there was a couple more things that Soup showed that I just want to know whether they've updated or changed, and then we'll get into some more original things that I had a look at. So right by the soul altar, if you go over to this part, you can see like a couple of like stone or ice statues sort of like defending what looks to be a trap, and this actually does have an open option if I was using the orb of Oculus. Unfortunately, using the RuneLight plugin, you can't like examine things and stuff like that while flying around, but really interesting to see why it's there. But it's exactly the same as it was when Soup had a look at it 10 months ago. And the final place that Soup looked at that I found quite interesting was the elf capital city of Prifddinas. I don't know if that's saying it right, you know. Apparently it's Welsh, but anyway, yeah, it hasn't changed at all, which is really unfortunate because obviously like the Song of Elves quest is coming out soon, which is going to give us access to it, and I thought maybe they would have done some development on it or changed a few things, but it looks exactly the same, just an empty green sort of like ditch in the middle. Okay, so up next is one from my childhood. I remember being at the Wizard's Tower and always thinking, oh, wouldn't it be sick if I could get over to Tutorial Island or have a look at Tutorial Island, and finally that is now possible. And as you can see, it's actually super close. It's way closer than I thought it was to the Wizard's Tower, and you can just sort of fly around and see where it all began. The clock's still working over there as well, which is pretty cool, and you can see like all the bull's heads and the unicorn head and stuff like that on the Questmasters, I think that's the Questmasters room wall. And yeah, just really cool to see how close it is to the Wizard's Tower there. Next up, we went over to Wintertodt and had a look underneath, and as you can see, there's like this blue patch of like I don't know, water, or just, it's obviously some sort of placeholder. I'm sure that's what it is. But yeah, like a blue little patch here, then like a black path on the left here, which I'm guessing is to like denote where the wall should be. And then if we go behind the back, you can see there's like this black board. I think that's how the roots are sort of like put into the game, because obviously you chop those roots, and if we go underneath here, you can see the roots are sort of like coming through the wall, and they are actually down the bottom as well. Lots of detail down here, which you wouldn't normally see without using the camera mod. And then if we go on over here, we can see Wintertodt underneath, which is really interesting because like from the top it looks like quite a scary sort of ball of like pit or something. When you go downstairs, it's just like, I don't know, like a cone. It's like a semi sort of like rotating cone. It's a bit odd. If we can try and get ourselves in here, that'd be pretty cool. Let me try and fly on down here. There we go. This is going to be like a mindfuck, I'm telling you. Here we go. Yeah, there's loads of stuff going on. I don't even know what that is now. Like, what is that? It's really interesting to see, though. I think we can fly in if we go up like this, yeah, and then drop down a little bit. Yeah, we can go in here. And it's like a, yeah, like a rotating sort of sphere or something. That is really disorientating. But yeah, really cool to see like Wintertodt that close up. And we also managed to get a close-up of our boy Wintertodt, which is pretty cool. You can see like green legs and red eyes on that white body, which is pretty cool. And then I sort of like flew around here, and I don't really know what this guy's holding. Does anyone know? The thing I'm thinking of is that like the thing that helps with clues. You know, you look through it and it's like a, is it a sextant or something like that? Is what he's holding? I'm not 100% sure though. Really, really odd to see that. And then another thing, I turned around and saw this. And there's literally like a sword in the fire. And I never knew there was a sword in the fire, which is really cool. It's a really nice bit of detail that maybe I just missed it and people know about this. But yeah, really cool to see like this sword just sat in the fire. And then in one of like the neighbouring villages, there's just some guys sat by a fire with fish food. I don't really know what's going on there. But a cool little like, I don't know, it reminds me of the Draenor Manor, you know, where you have to use the fish food to poison the piranhas, which is pretty cool. Also guys, if you've got any ideas of like places you want to see or things you've always been like, oh, I wish I could see that, chuck it down in the comments, because I'll do another video. I absolutely love doing this, like it is so much fun. And if you've got through these 7 minutes of me flying a camera around an 18, 19-year-old game, then drop me a like guys, it means so much, and a subscribe if you're new around here. And then we flew on down to Neve's Cave, and if we keep going this way, we get to the secret location that Dario like blindfolds you every time you have to go to like Apatow or Monkey Madness when you're doing that quest. It's literally right by Neve's Cave, so there you go guys, that is that mystery cleaned up. And then if we go a little bit north, you can see the room or the underground bit of the gnome stronghold where you check for the Draconia rock. And then if we have a cheeky look up Neve's, and then I flew on over to the Abyss. And you can see the guy who fixes your rune pouches. He's actually wearing the Beads of the Dead, which is pretty cool. I like that. It's a good reference because I'd expect him to be dead, and like that seems like the sort of thing he'd wear. So I like that. And then if we go on over to, I think it's the Nature Rune altar. There's quite a few of these altars. They're in like instances with other places, and there's loads of other stuff you can see when you go to these altars. So I think I'm going to go to the nature one. I'm pretty sure there's things either side of this one. So if we fly on over this way, I think this is the Otto's dungeon thing or the whirlpool thing, where the myth dragons are and like things like that. I'm not 100% sure though. If you think you know, let me know guys. And then this side I have no idea what is. It might be wilderness or something. I'm not 100% sure. If you guys know what those two places are, let me know in the comments. Next up is Fossil Island, and there is so much detail here that really goes unnoticed. As you can see, like these sort of mushroom tree things have like skull faces on them, which is pretty cool, and I've never really looked into that. I don't know if that's just me missing it, but yeah, never looked at that. And then like the snakes like actually stare at you almost, and they're like ready to pounce. Does a snake pounce? I don't know. And they like sort of like, I don't know, they go fuzzy when they're going around. It's really cool. I don't know, I was really interested by those. And then if we fly around over to here as well, these like purple flowers, I thought they were just flowers, but when I had a closer look, you can see there's like skulls and like ribs in there almost, which is some really interesting detail that I've never seen. And it's like, yeah, like a skeleton's growing out of it. Very interesting. And then going back to those like mushroom skull face things, it looks like they're wearing ancestral hats. I'm pretty sure that's like super close to ancestral hat. I don't know if that's on purpose or Jagex just really like the design of the ancestral hat. but it could be, you know, implying something. And then I went into the nightmare zone just to have a little look if there was anything in the walls or something, and really, I was really disappointed. I thought there might be something here. Going around to this side, there are some sort of like, I don't know, like rocks and dust or something on the floor, just in the middle of nowhere for no reason, but more like a graphical error than anything else. And then there's just this sort of like mound of dirt or something, which is, yeah, a bit useless, but yeah, really nothing in there. If we zoom out, you can literally just see it is just the area and then nothing else around it. But for those of you who stuck around to the end of the video, I've left the most interesting thing, and maybe Jagex game breaking thing, till last, so you guys could see this. So what you got to do is line these like 2 agility things up, and then zoom all the way out, and for some reason, as soon as the map disappears, this happens. Didn't know if this song was copyright or not, so I sang it.
Never gonna give you up, I'm never gonna let you go, never gonna say goodbye.